What if the most terrifying stories weren't just stories? What if the ghosts were real, and they lived inside your own home? Tonight, MindTrace Crime takes a darker turn. For those who crave true crime, those who are fascinated by horror, and those who study the human mind, this story is for you. We dive into a haunting so disturbing, it inspired The Conjuring, Rites. But how much of it was real? And what was psychological? In 1974, Jack and Janet Smurl moved with their children to a quiet duplex on Chase Street in West Pittston, Pennsylvania. At first, life was normal. They were an ordinary Catholic family trying to rebuild after losing their previous home to a flood. But soon, small things began to happen. Stains reappeared on walls no matter how many times they were cleaned. Appliances broke without reason. Strange smells filled the air. At first, these were just annoyances. But to the Smurls, they felt like warnings. As the years passed, the activity grew darker. Muffled voices echoed through the house. Drawers opened on their own. A dark shadow lurked in the corners. The most terrifying claims came from Jack and Janet themselves. Jack described being attacked in his sleep, dragged from his bed. Janet claimed she was levitated, even assaulted by an invisible force. Neighbors and visitors also reported strange noises and unexplained movements. The family lived in constant fear. Their home, meant to be a place of safety, had become a prison of terror. The Smurls turned to the church. Priests blessed the house. For a while, things grew quiet, then worse than before. In desperation, they contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren, the same investigators later dramatized in the Conjuring films. The Warrens declared the Smurl home infested by a powerful, demonic entity. They claimed exorcisms were attempted. And still, the attacks continued. The case reached the media. Headlines screamed of a haunted house in Pennsylvania. But not everyone believed. Psychologists and skeptics argued the family was under intense stress, that the haunting could be explained by hallucinations, sleep paralysis, and shared delusions. For believers, this was proof of the demonic. For skeptics, it was proof of the human mind under pressure. So, what could explain this psychologically? Trauma played a role. The Smurls had survived a devastating flood. Financial struggles weighed heavily. Jack had even undergone brain surgery, which some argued might have affected perception. Sleep paralysis could explain the nighttime attacks. A terrifying but natural condition where the body is frozen between dreaming and waking. The family's strong Catholic faith shaped their interpretation. Strange noises and visions weren't just odd. They were demonic. And then, there was folie à famille, shared family delusion. Fear feeding fear, until everyone sees the same thing. Add media attention, and the haunting became larger than life. Once their story was public, there was no turning back. Years later, Hollywood turned the Smurl case into The Conjuring, Rites. But film is not reality. On screen, the evil is louder, more violent, more cinematic. In real life, terror comes slowly. In whispers. In sleepless nights. In doubts that eat away at your sanity. Because the truth is this: real horror doesn't end when the credits roll. The Smurls eventually left the Chase Street home. The haunting ended, but the scars remained. The family was divided between those who wanted to move on, and those who still believed they had been chosen victims of something unholy. Jack Smurl passed away in 2017. Janet withdrew from the public eye, never fully escaping the shadow of what they endured. The community remains divided. Believers who stand by the Smurls, and skeptics who see the haunting as hysteria. The Smurl haunting remains one of the most debated paranormal cases in American history. To some, it is evidence of demons. To others, it is evidence of fear, and how fragile the human mind can be. But one truth is undeniable. For the Smurls, the terror they experienced was real. And sometimes, the most haunted place isn't a house, it's the human mind. If you felt the chill of this story, subscribe to MindTrace Crime. There are darker truths and deeper psychological mysteries still to uncover.